Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Natgas. So Natgas is dropping and dropping and dropping. We haven't yet seen any reversal signal. In fact, the triangle that we saw in one of the previous videos warned us about further downside. We even broke below the triangle target that was at around, I think, 225. Yeah, highlighted to you in the last video that if the triangle target, an Elliott wave triangle target, is broken, it typically indicates quite a strong extension to the downside. I think we see that today. I mean, 4.7% further downside. It is quite strong, and I've attempted to do some kind of a micro count here in this fifth wave to the downside of the third wave. Next key support will be 190. But there might be some support before that. Now, again, I'm not telling you it will turn around there, but these are sort of pivot points where the market will decide if it's turning around or not. At the moment, as it seems, we are now in a fifth wave here. After we peaked in a fourth wave, that was the end of the triangle, moving down in a fifth wave. The fifth wave seems to subdivide into a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4. And maybe this is now the fifth wave of the fifth wave. So let's actually take a look at what that could mean. The fifth wave is quite strong. But it seems like that the wave 5 here only so far has 3 waves. So we might get further downside from here, because also in the fifth wave, we would be looking at 5 waves quite naturally. And yeah, if we look at targets, what could be a target? So first of all, target ranges now. We take the length of waves 1 to 3, go to the high of the wave 4, and then we are looking at the following targets. First of all, the 208 level, $2.08. That's the 61.8 extension. That is a very typical target for a fifth wave. Below that, basically the 190 level becomes very, very relevant. Here it points towards 193. That is the 1-to-1 ratio between waves 1 to 3 and wave 5. It's a less frequent target, but it isn't a target where wave 5 gets extended. Wave 5 can get extended because the target of the triangle obviously was broken further to the downside, yeah, which indicates we have a very strong extension to the downside coming. And therefore the wave 5 could certainly be extended, and then we talk about 193. If we then even drop below that and also take out the 190 level, then we might be talking here about $1.70. So as you can see, no reversal signal yet. We have to give the benefit of the doubt to a further downtrend. And as long as the trend is down and we have no reversal signal, it will drop further. And all I can do is to give you an idea of the possible targets and pivot points. A reversal is due, yeah, in possible either a wave 4 before we get even lower in a wave 5, or in the actual next bull run. Yeah, it's due. It's not necessarily overdue. Yeah, so it's currently not an unlikely extension what this larger wave 3 is putting in. This is still within what's reasonable. And I did warn you many, many times about further significant drops for Natgas, and that I am quite bearish on Natgas, especially considering the monthly chart that is still pointing towards further downside and downside momentum on the monthly MACD for Natgas. Yeah, we talked about that many times before. I showed you an example on the futures markets as well, on the futures charts, where historically, whenever we had a monthly MACD crossover which was bearish on Natgas, it did point towards much further downside, around 60, 70, sometimes 80%, and we had that back in December. That's when I showed it to you for the first time, and I think that was spot on. And we saw since then around about a 50 to 60% decline, which doesn't mean it has to be over yet. In fact, I would now, with the latest structure, expect further downside, probably into the $2.08 region. And if we drop below that, then we can say hello to around about 190. We need a reversal and a break of the previous swing high, which would now be 232, to have a very first, to even talk about the possibility that the trend has shifted. So far, we haven't, and that was absolutely correct, we haven't called out a bottom here yet. and I will not call out a bottom until I get confirmation, because this is just still too much downside potential. And all we can do is really just watch and see and wait for that possible reversal, which again is due. So we need to be watching, especially now again. We have another possibility as we get 5 waves of the wave 5 here complete now on the micro level as well. But we're not there yet. I think one more leg down is missing at least. And then we have another chance to turn around, which doesn't mean it needs to turn around. These can always extend out. You are among the few selected people who know that we are obviously here getting into a critical area now and a possible turning point, but that the trend is clearly still down, that due to the indicators, for example the monthly MACD, we have to be ready for further downside, absolutely. But when this eventually is turning around, this could be quite massive. But yeah, at the moment it still suggests further downside, I'm afraid. And then what we then need to see when we are turning around, is it a wave 4 or are we already back in a bull run? Because it has dropped enough certainly now that it could even be the entire move down could be finished, you know. So what I will work on this week is to move that whole chart to the futures as well. I mean, this is Natgas spot, but I want to look at the futures because they are just easier to trade. Also the chart histories are longer. So I'm going to work on that this week. As you know, I'm always busy, so always need to be need to make some time for that, but I'll try to do that this week. It will be helpful also in terms of looking at more historical data and historical indicators. But yeah, that's my update about Natgas. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.